On part B, they're asking us about an absolute maximum of the function g of x. To find the absolute maximum of a function, you want to identify all local extrema, all local maximums, of course, and the endpoints. And of course, to find local extrema, we need to look at g prime. Now we know from part A that g prime equals this derivative, which is just 2, plus this derivative, which is just going to be f of x. And this is going to equal 0 if 2 plus f of x equals 0. Seems a little strange. If I isolate f of x, this will equal 0 if f of x equals, subtracting 2 from both sides, negative 2. And I have a graph of f of x. I just need to figure out where it equals negative 2. So here's where the y value is negative 2. And here's on the function where f equals negative 2. And that happens at this point. I'm thinking it's 2.5, but if I wasn't sure, I could look at the slope and know it's down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And so this happens halfway between this point and that point at 2.5. X equals 2.5 is going to be my local maximum. So the next thing I would do is identify g of negative 4, g of 2.5, and g of 3. If you look at the actual rubric for this, this is from the 2011 A/B test. They do it in a faster way, but I'm going to go ahead and find these functions by evaluating the integrals. I'm going to pause the video and show you the calculations when I unpause. So here's my calculations for the different endpoints and then the local maximum I was able to find. G of negative 4, I'm going to start by taking 2 times negative 4 and then integrating from 0 to negative 4. That's because I'm just using this function as g, replacing all the x with negative 4. As I travel from 0 in the direction of negative 4, the x's are negative. These areas, I put signs on them. This is a quarter circle. The original circle has a radius of 3. This is a circle whose radius was 1. So the whole area would be 9 pi, but I have a fourth of it. The whole area would be pi, but I have a fourth of it. This is going to be negative because the x direction is negative, but the y value is positive. This would be positive because the x is negative, the y is also negative. So this g of negative 4 becomes the negative 8 that I got from doing 2 times negative 4, and then combining these. And I'm not going to worry too much about how this simplifies right now because I don't feel like it, and I'm probably not going to need to. But we'll see. I get to g of 2.5, same thing, 2 times 2.5 and then integral. I put the areas in here as I found them, and I am going to simplify this down to 5.5 because it's not that hard to do that. And then, of course, the endpoint, g of 3, 2 times 3, integral from 0 to 3. Again, I found those areas. And I found this is a positive 5.5. This is positive 4.5. I don't know what this is, but it's negative, so it's definitely not the correct answer. And, of course, the absolute maximum then is going to be what happens at 2.5. And its answer is going to be 5.5. I'm going to justify my answer by leaving all this work here. This work justifies my answer. I don't need to write a big paragraph. Nice. Like I said, if you look at the 2011 scoring guide, they have a slicker solution, and their solution didn't go through all these steps, and so they wrote more of a justification, but this work also justifies the answer.